In this video, I want to give you a real-world perspective of how an e-commerce business should be optimized for conversions when compared to the real-world brick-and-mortar store. So what you see here is a layout from a store called Hollister, which is located in my mall. And I found that that store is a great example to use to understand the complexity of e-commerce optimization. So when you walk into the store, into the main entrance, you have to make a left or a right, and they have the men's aisle on the right and the women's aisle on the left. So when you make a right, every room is like a category of products. So you have shirts, jeans, sweaters, and so on, and you can enter from the women's side or from the men's side, and it's actually split in half. So part is men and part is women. So here is the example of the front of the store. You come in, and that's where you make your turn. And here is a picture of one of the rooms as you're walking through it. The idea here is if you're walking through the store, you have these doorways to go through different rooms which have these different categories of products, and eventually you're going to end up at the register. So what happens if you build this store, you have this grand opening, you open it up, and people start walking in, and for some reason someone decided to put a table here which kind of blocks this doorway passage. And people get confused, and instead of walking, this direction, they start thinking that they need to walk this direction. And they start going here, and next thing you know, they're like, I'm a guy, why am I in the, women's aisle, and how do I get out of here? And, next thing they know, they're in the bottoms, right? So all of a sudden, you broke the flow. You went from, instead of taking them to the men's section, now you're taking them to the women's section. And obviously he's going to say, okay, where's the exit? How do I get out of here? And he is going to leave. If you see that happening because you're in a real brick and mortar location, you'll go and you'll move this out of the way so people can go in, or you'll optimize something to make it very clear that keep walking through this particular hallway and, to the register if you want to buy something. In a worst case scenario, you can totally block off this entrance here and just say, this is where you go, right? Now, this isn't a real-world scenario, and you'll be able to see all this information. However, when you're thinking about e-commerce and an online business, you have just a complex scenario as this store, but you're not seeing any of this because it's all virtual. It's virtual data. And the problem is that if you are going to rely on Google Analytics, everybody says, oh, Google Analytics you have to have on your website. It's going to show you what's happening to your traffic. The problem with Google Analytics is they show you everything, including real visitors and fake visitors and visitors who are not serious. So let me give you a real-world example. Let's say that you are trying to target men who are in their teens and maybe, not over 30, but then you have people coming in who are like on wheelchairs and retired, senior citizens, and you have people who come in that don't even fit the style. You have fake people coming in, so you have like these robots coming in to check out what you're selling, and you have competitors coming in. So you have all these different people coming in who are not your target market, and really the main target market that you are trying to get through this particular haul is men who are 18 and up to 30, right? So again, for example, if you have a senior citizen on a wheelchair accidentally come into your store, he might get stuck here and he might start complaining, and he's going to say, where is the exit? How do I get out of here? And he's going to confuse you because he's going to go and start walking through all these different hallways. And if you don't see him as a senior citizen, which is not your target market, on a wheelchair, then you're going to probably think, well, something is going on. My layout is not working out. While in reality, your layout is working out because your target market, who is the teens 18 and up, they're walking through the halls fine. So the problem with Google Analytics is that they show you everything. They show you a big picture, and you can't segment, who is real, who is not real, and are those real visitors really your target customers or not. Now, there's other software out there. For example, there's software ClickTail that can actually show you a screenshot of the activity. But the problem with ClickTail is the same as Google Analytics. They show you all the activity, all the screenshots, right? They end up showing you screenshots of real visitors and fake bot visitors, non-targeted visitors, and you have no idea which screenshot you should actually look at to understand if you have a problem or not. So it's the same thing as having cameras all over the store, and monitoring these people, but you don't know if it's a teen or a guy in a wheelchair that shouldn't even be inside the store. So what we've developed is threat and engagement analytics. And what that does is we will identify who does not belong in your store because they're fake. So robots coming into your store, which obviously, non-human robots, if they ever exist in the future, they're not going to buy anything from you, so we want to get rid of them altogether. You don't want to analyze that data. Who cares about them? Let them go in and walk out. If they get confused and they're going to walk left or right, whatever, we don't care because we really care about our target customers. Now, the people that are not really interested, people on the wheelchairs and so on, again, the threat and engagement analytics is going to segment them out, and it's going to say, we don't care about those because they have poor engagement. They really haven't walked around your store. They came in, peeked, and left. They really haven't walked down the hallways. And then it's going to tell you who are the real engaged visitors, the people that actually want to shop in your store. And it's going to show you where they got stuck. So for example, if you have a guy who is 18 years old, he walks into the men's section, he goes to the shirts, he grabs one. Then he keeps walking and he finds jeans. Great, I got jeans. And then all of a sudden, you have a great poster, right? Let's say it's going to be located here. Really nice looking poster. Okay. He looks at the poster and he misses this exit altogether, right? So this exit is completely missed. So he starts walking this direction, which is fine. He's trying to check out the sweaters, but he doesn't realize that he can still go this direction, right? So he ends up in the dress wear for women. So he's like, okay, fine, let's check it out. And he goes to the bottoms, and let's say that this particular exit is also kind of hidden, so you can't really see it. So then he's going to say, okay, let's go to swimwear. And the next thing you know, he's like, why am I going through this women's section? Where's the register? I don't even understand where the register is. And he's going to just turn around and leave, right? So you want to be able to see this happening in action, and you want to take action after that to fix it so it doesn't keep happening. Because in conversions for e-commerce, it's very consistent. I see this all the time where you're trying to get the people through the door, right? So you have a customer come in and you're trying to push them next page, so category page, product page, add to cart, and to the register, and make sure that the people at the register take care of him. So as you're trying to push them through, you get less and less people coming through. But a lot of times you think that it might be your traffic problem, or it might be something else, or there's a huge list of thousands of best practices that you can implement. But what really is the problem, right? Maybe the problem is that you have a little blind spot here, right? Like a little shelf here that's really blocking the entrance, and this is the problem, right? As soon as you get rid of this thing, you don't need the best practices. You don't need anything. You just need to get rid of this little shelf here with a close so he can keep walking down. So this is what the visitor engagement and the threat analytics will do for you. It's going to show you exactly where it is. And the cool thing about this whole thing is that it's going to show you right away. You won't have to know how to use it. You don't need to be some kind of a rocket scientist to understand it. It's that simple. And I'm going to show you right now how you can tweak your traffic to improve your conversions. So here's an example. I am checking for today, March 8th. We have 877 fake visits, and we have 313 real visits. So I don't care about the fake altogether, and they are definitely fake. It's one average page view, which is most likely bounced traffic. Now we have the real visitors, 30% bounce rate, average engagement, and the ones that had good and excellent engagement, they probably spent a while on the site because time on site is like over 3.5 minutes. Now, what I truly care about is I want to see, give me the people that are real and that have good and excellent engagement and actually browse the website, because those are the people, right? Those are the people that went through the door. They are definitely my target market because they engaged and they walked through all the halls, right? They probably walked here and back and so on, and they ended up somewhere because they did not check out. Like, not all of them checked out, right? So at which point did they leave? Did they leave in this room? Did they leave in this room? Where did they leave? Where did they not proceed? And then we can identify if there's a trend, if there's really a problem or not. So here's what we do. We click on Details, and on Details, all we have to do, we click on Preset. These are already preset for you, and we add new ones all the time. And we say, show me only what's high quality. And what that did was it basically checkmarked all the excellent engaged traffic, all the good engaged traffic. It only shows me which ones have page views 5 or above, and it shows me only the US, and it shows me any issues that these individuals might have. And what we do is we just sort by issues. And what the issues say here is, look, You have poor sales copy, poor sales copy. This guy was window shopping. Window shopping means he's just browsing super fast, not really considering to buy anything. And you have a few people here that we can check what they did, but most likely they never reached the product page. We had one successful order. So the question becomes, out of the 300 people that were real, we had one that successfully checked out, but what happened to these guys, right? They had 7 page views and 5 and 6 page views, and they are definitely real, and they had great engagement. So what happened? This is how far we will take it. So we'll double click on one of these, and we see that there is product details, right? It says that he spent 3 minutes on the product details, took 23 actions before he left. And we'll just double click on this, and I'm going to say, show me a screenshot of this. So here's what we see. We see a screenshot of the website, and the line is moving. Now, what you notice is, first of all, we tell you how many seconds it took to get from this point to this point. So you see that he's actually scrolling down. He's not reading this, right? Because even though he's engaging with the description, you might think that he's reading it, but he's not. And we also make the line thicker if he's actually taking his time to go from point A to point B. So, he's going through it. He's not really engaging with the content. There's a lot of content here, but he's not engaging with it. He's scrolling down. He stopped here for about 12 seconds, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, scrolling down. And at this point, he stopped here. I don't know what he did at that point. But then it took him, about however many seconds before he moved his mouse this way, and then he left. So bottom line is that he did not engage with the sales copy. He came in here, he was browsing the site, he looked at it, he liked everything, but he didn't engage with the sales copy. So maybe you need to improve the sales copy itself and make it more engaging, put more pictures, put more testimonials, put reviews. Some people might have questions, right? Questions that are not answered, like they're looking for a very specific question and it's not addressed in the sales copy, which is maybe a reason why he was scanning through it. But the bottom line is that you can go and parse out all the bad traffic, only see the real ones, click on details, and only pick out very specific segments, right? Why would you look at 1,000 visitors, or why would you even look at 300? You only want to look at very, very specific ones that you truly know were potentially your customers and abandoned it on the very last step, and you try to fix that problem so you can push them through the door. And if you look at the statistics on a wider range, because this is midday today, if we go, for example, a day back, and we take a look at it, you will notice that there's very little people that are abandoning the cart, right? There's only 2, and I believe these were just my tests. So, customers not abandoning the cart, there's no problem with the checkout. I mean, maybe there will be once we push them through. Maybe they have other issues. But in this case, you might think there's problems with checkout, or you might think there's a problem with your prices, or you might think all kinds of things, right? Because when you look it up online, how do I improve conversions, you get thrown everything at you, thousands and thousands of different things you can do and hundreds of different best practices. But in reality, what is the true problem that you have right now, right? And it says here right now you have a poor sales copy, so you should improve it. And if you're wondering, well, how do I improve it? Well, you go through each one by one, every single day. You look at the screenshots of what customers did to see the trends, and you fix it one by one. You fix one customer, and next time the same kind of customer comes in, he won't have that problem. You'll keep pushing them through. These issues will monitor everything from poor product selection, so they were searching and didn't find what they were looking for. Poor sales copy. Abandoned the cart after estimating the shipping, so your shipping is a problem. Abandoned the cart during the login. You're kind of annoyed that they don't want to log in, so maybe guest checkout should be encouraged. It'll tell you if you got abandoned cart, step 1, step 2, step 3, at which point did they abandon the cart. So bottom line is you can really, really troubleshoot this and get to the core of the problem instead of thinking for ideas and getting consulting and this and that. And look at this. It took me exactly 10 minutes. All I had to do is just come here after 1 day of traffic, click preset, click give me high quality desktop traffic. It segments everything for me, and all I got to do is just look at it. I can look at it with an expert or my team, but bottom line is I can look at it and I can come up with a definite answer of what I need to fix today, and you simply have to just keep fixing it until you get them through all the different rooms, through all the different holes, and get them to the register, get their credit card, check them out, and make sure that they can leave and tell their friends about you. So this is a real-world perspective of how you would do it at a real brick and mortar and how you would take this and apply it to e-commerce using the threat and engagement analytics.